Well, hello everybody. This is Gibby. This is October 25th, 2023. I'm over here at Zion-Benton Township High School, and they're going to do a community dialogue, and it's hosted by your Zion community leaders. I'm reading it. I cheated, and refreshments are from 5:30 to 6, and the event starts at 6 to 8. So anyway, and it's being done in the Commons, in the new Commons they have here. So I'm going to flip the camera around and do a little pan of the parking lot here. And that's the Commons over there, Athletic and Performing Arts Center, and I will be in the Commons. And we're going to go set. I am going to go set the camera up now, and we'll capture the event. Okay, folks. This won't bother you if I stand by you guys, will it? This won't bother you if I stand by you guys?
How's the sound? Dr. Wilkinson. Dr. Wilkinson, how's the sound? Jake is good? Bob? Okay. Dr. Wilkinson, Mr. Carson, please behave. Mr. Nini. Okay, so, all right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. We are going to start in 14 seconds with our mayor and his welcome. So, please say the last words on your table, and our mayor will start in 9 seconds with his welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me nice and clear? All right. My name is Billy McKinney. I am the mayor of the city of Zion and a Zion resident. My family's been here since 1962. I just want to take this opportunity to welcome everyone here this evening and thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come to one of our community forums. We've had several of these, at least 5 or 6, we're trying to get the exact number, and we really appreciate you coming out because it's our opportunity to share with you what's going on in our community, not just with the city, but with all of the taxing bodies, the schools, the park district, the library, our police and fire, our township. We're able to keep you informed. We want you to be more engaged. We want to see this room completely packed so that we have to move to that auditorium to have these meetings in the future. But we also utilize these events to be able to get input from our residents about what's happening throughout our city. While we manage the operations of the city and what's happening, it's so critically important for us to hear from our residents what we can do to improve things within the city, within reason and within our operational budgets. So please, the next time we have one of these, make sure that you invite your friends. We send out the postcards throughout the entire city, and we would like to at least get 10% of our population, which is about 25,000 people, here at these events. Be engaged, have pride in your community as we all do. And again, thanks to Dr. Rodriguez and the staff for letting us use this beautiful facility. I also just want to, as you look at the slides about what we're doing in our community or what we've done, our leadership group has been around for several years. And this all came as a result of a conversation with our city administrator, David Nagle. I don't know if he's here this evening, but David used to have these dollars and cents group meetings, and probably 5 or 10 people came to it. So we came up with a solution of being able to get all the leaders in the same place and talk about collectively what our plans are for the city, what we're doing to increase safety, economic development, improve our schools, our roads. And so these meetings have been crucial, and we have been out in the community. And a couple of things that I want to go over today is, we partnered with the high school when we talk about collaboration between the taxing bodies. We partnered with our schools to develop new welcome to the City of Zion signs. We had a contest in which we had 3 groups of students submit signs, and then there was going to be one winner. And we decided, with all the efforts that the students put into this group, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to do that. That this is what our students are doing here. This was an idea by our commissioner, Mike McDowell, as part of our being fiscally responsible with the City of Zion, to make these signs about $100,000. And so Mike said, why don't we collaborate with the school and be able to have our students create this, so when they come back to our community and they're in our community, they can see these items. This is their work, and they're starting to go up pretty soon here. I talked to Dr. Rodriguez today. We're working on getting them up, and I know there's a resident back there that I've talked to that asked me about those signs, and we've taken them down. Oops, that's why I'm not in control of this thing. Yes, that what happened to the City of Zion signs, and some of them were so ragged that we decided just to take them down until we could get the new ones up. That's the kind of pride we have in our city as we're cleaning our city up. The other item that I wanted to cover tonight, in addition to the signs, is we have a feature called Blackboard Connect. And we're asking all of our residents, if you're watching this through a streaming process, to sign up through Blackboard Connect. You can, our Fire Chief Justin Street is going to cover that later, but you can go to our city website, sign up for it, put your email address and your telephone number, and when we have important announcements about the cities, especially emergency situations, we will contact you through that number. And it's a great tool for us to use that we will not overutilize, but use it to make sure that you are informed about emergency events. Like a couple of years ago, we had a toxic spill out on the highway, and the plumes of smoke were starting to drift towards Zion, and we wanted everyone to stay inside. And so that's what the Blackboard Connect is for. You can go to the City of Zion and register today. Tell your neighbors about it, tell your friends about it. It's a really important way for us to be able to connect with you. The last thing that I want to talk to you about, a couple other things that I'm going to talk about, is we are working right now to make sure that we can bring broadband to our community. We've been working with a group that will allow us to have internet, throughout the entire city for our residents. And one of the reasons we're trying to do this is because we're trying to do this as a way to make sure that everyone in our city, especially those of low income, are able to access the internet for homework, research, and things of that nature. So we're working on that as well. Our chief of police is going to talk about safety and how we've improved our safety protocols throughout the city. And I'm pleased to announce that crime is down 10% since last year in our city. He'll talk about the technology that we are using to combat crime, in addition to our police force, which is for the first time in many years fully staffed. The last thing that I want to talk about, thank you. The last thing that I'm going to talk about before I turn this over to Dr. Rodriguez is economic development. I was just asked by one of my childhood friends, Gloria Hill, what's happening with Popeyes?
Not open yet.
We're waiting for Popeyes to open, and we've done everything as a city and a state and a county for the building to be open. Now it's up to the owners to finish up their task of getting everything done within the building. And I know once it opens, it's going to be circles around the place because people have been anxious for the last year and a half to get there. But we've also brought in 32 other businesses. Economic development has been important for our tax base. And we brought in a company called Grill Wheels, not too far down the street over on 173 on Kenosha Road, a multi-billion-dollar business that we put in a building that was vacant for about 15 years. They brought 70 jobs to Zion. They moved from Gurnee. So there's a lot of things that we're doing here in our city that we're bringing business. Our housing market has improved. For some of you that the vacant houses are disappearing. More people are buying as homeowners. 5 years ago, I think when I took over the office as mayor, 40% of the residents in our city owned homes. 60% were rentals. And in a 5-year period, that has flipped. It's now we have about 60% of our residents here own their homes and 40% are rentals. In a healthy community, it's about 27 to 33%. So great things are happening here in Zion, Illinois. And it's because of the work of collaboration of all of our community leaders that this is happening. Safety, business development, our park district, great places to go for your children and the adults to be involved in programs. So it's happening here in Zion, and great things are happening, and I am proud to be the mayor of this town. I'm proud to be a resident of this town. And one of the things that we want as I close out my remarks, we want everyone to feel proud to live here. And to be proud to live here, you have to be engaged, you have to be involved, you have to take ownership in the city in which you live. Every taxing body and every elected official or higher official can't do the job of 25,000 residents. So we need your help to continue to get better, to make Zion, continue to make it a great place to live, work, and play. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the Energizer Bunny here, Dr. Jesse Rodriguez.
Thank you, Mayor. And to make it good, to make it excellent, to make it great for Zion, you have to believe, and we believe. We know we have the best community. We know we have the best city. So the mayor took some time, and he did mention the activities that you're going to see in this evening. So here you have framing the day. We will do a summary of our last activities, like this one. We'll talk about community funding, public safety, economic development, community engagement, and then we will close. This work is possible through the partnership of the different leaders in our community, and also the elected board members, elected public officials, commissioners. And the idea is serving success through community relations. So we believe that together we're stronger. We believe that together we will achieve more. We believe that together we are going to create the best city anywhere. So we do have the belief system. And we know that we create a legacy for today, tomorrow, and beyond. So it is creating that legacy, having the purpose where we care, where we see a preferred future for our city. And that is done by the hard work of some of our community leaders. Here we have a very complex system. But through a lot of hard work, those colors come together. And that is where we're going as a city. I would like the Zion Township Supervisor to please stand up. Sherry Neal. And also, if you are an elected official serving on her board, please stand up. And I think District 6 Superintendent, please stand up. Dr. Zimmer. And if you are an elected official, board members, District 6, please rise. In the system, we have Zion Park District Executive Director, Eric Bradley, and if you are in his board, please do the same. Fire Chief, he's already up. Eric, you wanna stay up? Everybody sit down. We gotta start again. Major, I didn't do it right. I explained it the wrong way. So, Zion-Benton Supervisor, you stand up. Do it again. District 6 Superintendent, Zion Park District Executive Director, elected official, stay up. Fire Chief, Justin Street. If you are in his board, please do us as well. District 126 Superintendent, that's me, and I do have some board members. Board members, please rise. Zion City Administrator, David Canabo, he's not able to be here today. Representing him is Commissioner McDowell. Zion Township Assessor, Colette Davis, please rise, and if you are in your board, do as well. Police Chief, in the back, Eric Barden, and Zion-Benton Library Director, Robin Smith. You are in your board. And these leaders have worked very, very hard. You have to understand community. You're putting all these leaders together. That's hard work. A lot of great ideas. But we do it on behalf, and we do it under the direction of our elected officials. Board members, thank you. Commissioners, thank you. Thank you for the hard work. You deserve a big round of applause. You do this hard work as a volunteer in the spirit of service for our community so that we can have a better Zion. So our executive leaders, we do thank you for your support. We do thank you for challenging us as we work together with you in creating the best city anywhere, the best high schools, the best elementary schools, the best city government, the best library, the best park district, a safe and nurturing system for our residents. That is what it's all about. So, again, in the last 5 or 6 meetings that we have had in the past, we have made a commitment to these areas here, where elected officials are coming together to service our community in a way that is genuine, where us as executives are working together with them. We also made a commitment to strengthen communication, to address the infrastructure, to address the issue and the persistent, taxing challenges that we have had over the last, I don't know how many years. We made that commitment. Yes, we did. To address services and ensure that we have the best of the best. To ensure that we don't have any excuses as it relates to success, because we know that success is intentional. There's no excuses here, just results. To work on your behalf. So that is the commitment that we have as executives, and that is what we bring to you as our community. And I know that together we're going to achieve more. I know that together we are going to make our city the best city anywhere. So with that, I will pass the mic to our police, our fire chief. He sure don't want to be the police chief. Our fire chief, who will talk about Blackwood.
All right, thank you. My name is Justin Street, as he said, fire chief here in Zion. I'm going to start off the public safety update just for a couple minutes, and then pass off to the main attraction, the guy you really want to hear from, Chief Parton over there. So Mayor McKinney actually started out very eloquently on Blackboard Connect. The company Blackboard was purchased by Final Site. But if you're talking about Blackboard Connect, we know what you're talking about. And we do want you to navigate to cityofzion.com. Right in the bottom corner, there's a link that you can just very easily put in some contact information, and we will blast out just every once in a while. We will not spam you. Generally, it's 1 or 2 per month. Maybe more if there happens to be some emergencies, road closures, or something like that. But it's a very simple way to get word out to you about what's going on, or events like this. And even if you've already signed up, we want to make sure that your numbers are accurate. So you can go back into the system and submit your info. or please enter your email address. Yesterday, I don't know if you got yesterday's blast about this event. That was my voice that you heard. Our script was a little long and I think it got cut off. But we can put more information in the emails that we send out, including attachments. So please make sure we have your phone number and email address. This is going to help us get info to you a little bit better. If you are not very computer savvy, I would be happy to help you. So call me at the fire station or look at my email address. It's pretty easily found on the city website, and I'll help you get registered. No problem. So a couple quick things about our fire and rescue department before I pass it along to the police chief. One of the questions I quite often get is, hey, why do I often see a Beach Park ambulance or a Beach Park fire truck or a Winter Harbor fire truck or Pleasant Prairie fire truck here in Zion? And quite simply, we help each other almost on a daily basis. They help us, we go to their cities to help. Sometimes we have all three of our staffed ambulances on calls at the same time, multiple times a week, in fact, we usually will do that. And then when the next call comes in, we have to call one of our neighbors for help, and they very gladly come and help us, just like we very gladly go help them in their busy times. Likewise for fires, none of our communities have enough firefighters to handle a true working fire, whether it's in a structure or a bigger building. So we automatically bring in our help from our neighbors. That's why very often you might see our neighboring agencies here in Zion. So hopefully that cleared that up a little bit for you. Yeah, that pretty much hits. Oh, one other biggie that I want to make sure, and I think Chief Barton's going to talk a little bit about an area similar to this. We have recently been the proud recipient of a FEMA grant. FEMA is Federal Emergency Management Agency, to hire 4 additional firefighter paramedics, and we're in the process of identifying those 4. The FEMA and the U.S. government, all of our tax dollars, right, are at work hard in our community. They're going to pay all full salary and benefits for 4 firefighters for 3 years, to the tune of almost $2 million. So thank you to certainly our elected officials in the area that helped us submit those applications, and that's just an exciting way that we're able to capture some assistance from our government. So that's one of the exciting things that we do like to talk about here. So that's all I have to talk about for right now. Chief Barton has some really exciting updates from our police department.
I don't know if it's exciting, but I got some stats. I don't know how many of you like stats. I do. I think that's how we can, evidence-based policing is kind of what it's called. So behind me, we're going to post some stuff. What we did and what we've relied on in the last year or year and a half or so is using more accurate data. Everybody's heard the term garbage in, garbage out. Well, that's kind of what we were seeing. So we wanted to rely on more accurate statistics. As you can see, in 2022, we had about 172 calls for shots fired. It's really hard to use that as a metric because a lot of times we aren't getting called when we get shots fired, and we find those things later on. So I know that number looks high when you go from 2022 to 2023, and you see an increase of about 10%. I think we're getting more accurate reporting, and that's a good thing. Not the shots fired, but more accurate reporting. One of the things that we pushed pretty hard this last year was some technology-based items. Council has approved and worked towards really issuing a directive on, for me, and dealing with crime and dealing with how we're doing our business, but we gotta have good data. So what we've relied on is a couple companies, one of which is a company called Flock, where we use license plate reader technology. It's helped us a tremendous amount. It's been a fabulous tool. But what they also offer is some gunshot detection stuff. So we're getting accurate data now. We're seeing about a 9% increase over last year, but that's good information because now we're seeing and we're getting accurate pinpointed calls for this type of stuff, where you might have been sleeping at 2 o'clock in the morning, thought you heard something, wasn't really sure, but now we actually have the data from an electronic device that's in the ground. A couple other things, you're seeing about a negligible increase in reckless discharge. We're going to work on that. We need to bring those numbers down. But what I am proud to say is we're having an effect somewhere, and the reckless discharge, if you don't know the difference, there's reckless discharge and aggravated discharge. Reckless discharge is a shots fired call with evidence found, nobody injured. An aggravated discharge is where there was a victim, somebody was targeted, whether it's a property crime or a personal crime, but there's more evidence there, so we have a victim now. So it's nice to see these numbers, but that's a 43% decrease. Now, I don't know all the reasons why. I can surmise, I can give you some anecdotal evidence, but I think it's a totality situation. There's a number of things that we're doing on multiple facets, and this is nice to see some good evidence and some good numbers to show you how we're doing and how effective we are. We've got aggravated discharge, but then there's aggravated battery with a firearm. That's bullet hit skin. That's somebody injured that we have a victim, they gotta go to the hospital, I get the phone call in the middle of the night, what's going on, we send detectives in. That number's down pretty significantly, almost 62%. That's a dramatic decrease in crime. The mayor mentioned the 10% decrease in crime. He's talking on overall number. We're talking specific crimes that are generally violent, crimes of violence towards an individual. These are nice numbers to see. I give no guarantees. I'll promise you that. I give no guarantees, but we're going to keep working. We're going to keep working real hard on what we're doing. Murders, first degree murder. That doesn't always mean a gun was used in these cases. But to go from 5 to 2, we removed an officer-involved shooting out of that, so we didn't skew the numbers in a way that affected our numbers to make us a little better. That is a different situation. That was an officer involved in a call and had to use his weapon, and that's what that ended up with. But a 47% decrease. That's significant. That's your neighborhood's getting better. That's just generally crime is reducing, and that's a good thing. Violent crime is reducing. That's what our goal is. So how are we getting there? You can see the numbers of firearms seized. We're going from last year 106 firearms seized to roughly 95 or so. That's what we're estimating. That's a 10% decrease. That's good. We want to see fewer firearms on the street. The more we can get off the street, the better. Illegal firearms, that is. But what we're doing here is maybe this is how we're doing it. You're seeing an increase of about 130% increase in traffic stops. That means our officers are more active, more proactive. Now, I wrote a couple things down because I was going to forget. I knew I would. Now, I don't know what the potential factors are of reduction, but I think it's a cumulative effect of a number of things. Post-pandemic, I can say that word, efforts to return to a proactive policing model is important. We need our officers. We have exceptionally good investigations division, a very attentive and motivated patrol division. We have cooperative information sharing between our partners, our county partners, our housing partners. All of these things, these factors, go into play. And you're seeing field interviews. Field interviews are a number of things. Terry stops, they're often referred to a lot of things. But those are where we're getting out and talking to folks, okay? It's been a drive for me since I was a sergeant on this department. Get out of your car and talk to people. We have to talk to people. That is something that's been lost for so long. When I was a sergeant, I mandated for my shift 3 contacts, 3 non-enforcement contacts with someone in the public to say hi, to help them with their garbage, to help them with their groceries, just to talk, whatever. It doesn't matter, but it needs to be non-enforcement. And this model, I believe, is working. I can't give you one magic bullet. I can't tell you there's one thing that's been perfect. We've made our mistakes for sure, we own those, but we're going to continue to try. We owe it to you, and if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I probably can't give you all these numbers off the top of my head. I am a numbers person, but there's a lot of numbers up there to remember. So, any questions, I'd be happy to answer later on. We're not going to take questions right now. Come see me afterwards, I don't want to hold up the show. Next. Who's next? Yes, he's coming back. Sorry for the delay. Caught him off guard.
Thank you, Chair. So when it comes to fiscal responsibility, we have a great opportunity in our city. And we're working together as leaders to ensure that fiscal responsibility is one of the areas long-term that we address. we have this Energy Transition Community Grant, and this is work over many, many years of city officials, executives, where we have a great opportunity. There is a very long process on how to bring this money in, but we have over $300 million in the next 22 years, about $14 million per year. That is good money, you know, for our city and for us to do and address issues of services, infrastructure, tax relief. We survey you, we ask you the areas of which we should concentrate as it relates to the utilization of those funds. We heard from you that these 3 areas were important. So we now have a responsibility for you and with you to put something together, you know, long term. So Sherry will talk to us about our plan. I just want you to know that a commitment to tax relief through agreements between us is needed. And we're going to work on that. And there's a commitment for that. I just want you to know that the idea of enhanced services from the library to the schools to the city, you know, public safety is something that you also mentioned is needed. And it is also part of the grant. And last but not least, we have to address our infrastructure. We have to make an investment, you know, in our infrastructure. So we are working on those areas, and we have great news. The good news is that this grant is in the process of being released. Our library director put it in beautiful words. It is a very complex process, which it is, but we are working on it to bring those funds into Zion. And now with that, our township supervisor will talk to us about our next steps when it comes to this grant. And again, this is a great opportunity. The next, how many years did I say, Matt?
22.
22. Yeah, thank you.
Just to share with everybody, we were trying to figure out how we could incorporate more information tonight to share with you what each taxing body is thinking about as far as the first investment in this funds, recognizing that we were literally doing this as a, if this actually happens, because you never, you know, it's government bureaucracy. And so we put together a bunch of information, and what we decided to do was, by the end of the year, we are going to have a video that we will share with you with a slide from each of the taxing bodies, and where we decided would be the best way to invest those funds for the first year, recognizing that there's so many other things that go into that. So by the end of the year, we will have a video that will go out to all of you to explain each of the taxing bodies and how we intend for the first year. And we will be in communication as we move forward with these funds to be able to help. And like you said, in each of these areas, right? We desperately know about we need to lower taxes. We also desperately know that we've got, especially our grade school buildings are falling apart. We've got to invest in those, right? And we also know that services have been waning for a lot of years in a lot of areas. And so recognizing those 3 pools. But we really appreciate having the community together to help us figure this out and really take this just 1 year at a time to pull our community together. So with that, I think Commissioner Mike McDowell, who is sitting in for our city administrator, David Nagel.
All right, thank you. I am not David Nagel, but I made the mistake earlier today of calling David Nagel. And I asked what I always ask him, hey Dave, how you doing? And he said, I'm not really feeling very well. I didn't come to the office today. And I said, oh, that's too bad. Are you coming tonight to our forum? And he said, yeah, I am coming. I said, okay, well that's good. I'm glad to hear that. But Dave, if something happens, give me a call and I can help you out. Well, he did call me. And he said, I'm really not feeling good and I do need some help. So if you wouldn't mind, we should give my presentation. I said, oh, okay, what are you going to talk about? So that's about the level I'm at right now. I do have some knowledge about what David Nagel does and our economic development department. So I'll do my very best. We have a strategy for economic development that was started in 2015 with a plan called A Plan for Zion. And it's an economic development plan
that is given to businesses, and it was based on a survey that was done in our community and a lot of research that was done to help prospective businesses know the best places to locate in Zion, with a lot of information about our community. And we rely on a company that we partnered with called Retail Strategies that goes to various conventions around the country and represents Zion. So when our economic development staff and our mayor and sometimes our commissioners go to these conferences and interface with retailers, they usually already know something about Zion because they've been talked to by Retail Strategies. So that's kind of our approach. Let's go back to the Popeyes, because everybody's interested in Popeyes. The mayor mentioned Popeyes briefly, and it's a good example for what happens in economic development, because it takes 2 to 5 years from once we start developing a relationship with the retailer for that actually for the business to come to the city and we see a brick and mortar building. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer, depending on the permits that the business has to get and the number of agencies involved in permitting and getting access to the building and sewer and water and all those kinds of things. And then, of course, the economics of it with building materials rising in prices and then construction having to slow down because of that and cash flow issues. And so if you're wondering why Popeyes has taken so long, I think I've given you a little bit of background on why it's taken so long for Popeyes to develop. But that is in the retailer's hands to move it from the idea to the building itself. And Popeyes will be open, and I can't give you a date, but it will be open soon. And as the mayor said earlier, we have over the last 18 months issued 32 permits for new businesses here in Zion. Now these are basically mom and pop type businesses, entrepreneurs within the community, and we need that type of business here in Zion. These are our neighbors, these are our friends, these are the people that shop in our stores, that eat in our restaurants, that come to our football games, that are part of community activities, and these are very important businesses, and it's really great to see that we have 32 new businesses here in Zion. One a little bit larger retail that started as a mom and pop is Real Wheels, and they're right across from Walmart on 173 in Kenosha Road. They started in a garage creating accessories, wheel covers and things like that for trucks and commercial vehicles, and they have invested a little bit more than $6 million in Zion. The place that they were at out west, I think, was Grace Lake. They had outgrown that facility, and they were looking all over this area to find a place that would be suitable for their business, and they chose Zion. And I'm really glad for it. They said that Zion reflects our values, and they're very glad to be here. So if you see an 18-wheeler going down the road with a lot of chrome on the wheels and a lot of accessories, chrome accessories and things like that, that's what Real Wheels does. And they brought in 60+ employees to help with our economic development here. Another business that has recently come into town is Starbucks. Now, it took more than 5 years of relationship building and negotiating with Starbucks for them to decide to come to Zion. Starbucks is not just a normal business. They are an international company. They have a lot of strategy, and they want a lot of information before they're going to agree to invest in a community. So like I said, start to finish, it was more than 5 years of relationship building to get Starbucks in. But one of the benefits that comes from a retailer like Starbucks is they are internationally known, and they are also known among retailers to do their homework. So when they come to a community, it brings with it some credibility that maybe this is a good place to have to start a business. And often what happens in communities once Starbucks or other major retailers come, more business follows, and that's our goal. The biggest investment that we have going on economic development wise is in Trumpet Park. And this is probably something that you're not fully aware of, but a construction management company called Imperium is coming to Trumpet Park, which is a business park that we have just to the west of the city. This is 3 years in the making of relationship building with Imperium. And what they are building is a 500,000 square foot facility. It's a cross-dock facility. A cross-dock facility is a business like Amazon that brings in goods and warehouses them for a little bit to go out again. Just in comparison, the Amazon facility just a little bit north of us is a 1 million square foot facility, and what we have planned to come to Zion is a 500,000 square foot facility with the potential of making it larger. And that is a $65 million investment in this community, and they announced that publicly in May of 2023. So those are some of the things that are happening in terms of economic development here. Of course, the more businesses that come into town, the broader our tax base, and that can lower our levies. And so that's one of the reasons why we're excited about these businesses coming in and looking for more businesses to come. So thank you very much, and I'm not sure who's next. And Dr. Rodriguez as well. Yeah, thank you.
In order to address the workforce development, we do need great schools. So Dr. Wilkinson is here with us, who will talk to us briefly about the enhancements and improvements in the school, and how we have used federal, state, local dollars, grants, in order to create facilities such as this one, in keeping and staying true as it relates to fiscal responsibility, but we do need great schools. And District 6, District 3, District 1, District 126 are coming together to this idea of Vision 2030, Vision 2036, taking responsibility, making sure that we produce the workers for those companies. So with you, Dr. Wilkinson.
Thank you, Dr. Rodriguez. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Matt Wilkinson. I'm the Chief Financial Officer here for the school district. It's a very exciting time, not only for the district, but the Zion community. As I listened to Mayor McKinney speak and reflected back on the last 5 years, I think 5 years ago when I came to Zion, this facility that we're in right now was actually under construction and was being built. So as we think of the advancements that have happened, after the Performing Arts Center, we had the natatorium, and then our athletic field, and then just most recently this fall, we opened up 16 brand new 21st century science classrooms. In no time in the district's history have we had fewer teachers sharing classrooms. 16 science classrooms, 16 teachers teaching science. It's never happened before. So amazing things are happening. We're making investments in this facility and in this community. So I'd just like to talk a little bit about the phase 1 and phase 2 projects that are going on in the district and being planned. You can see in the areas other than green, those areas are all focused on student instructional and student support projects for renovation. The area up in green is our administrative area, and we're doing some modifications, trying to centralize all of our administrative services in the front of this facility and the flagpole entrance that most of you may know of. But just some amazing projects that are going on in the school district, and really the majority focus is on the student and support services and instruction. And as was mentioned earlier, a lot of the grants that we're looking at for the community energy grant are going to help support these kind of projects that we have planned here in the district. So when we look at our phase 1 square footage, again, educational area being renovated is about 14,212 square feet. The administrative areas relocated in that area are about 5,036 feet. And then when we vacate our current area, so basically what that's saying is our current administrative area is about 5,100 square feet. We're actually shrinking that area in that renovated area up front in the space. So we're actually shrinking the space for administration as we make it more efficient. Student instructional space is recaptured, about 1,800 square feet, and then student support services recaptured about almost 2,000 square feet. In our phase 2, this is going to be a focus on our MTSS, which is a multi-tiered support system area for our students that need supports throughout their educational experience, as well as our IMC. And for some of you who may not know what the IMC is, that's basically our library area. We'll be doing some partial renovations in there as part of our phase 2 project. But these are the areas, and it's about a 15,000 square foot renovation project. Students support areas relocated about 2,900, and then vacated 1,700, and then student space recaptured almost 3,400 square feet. So we're adding square footage for our learning and instructional spaces, and we are not for a want for space for our students in our classrooms. We're renovating them, making an investment, and turning them into 21st century learning spaces, and that's our ultimate goal. So this just gives you an architecture's rendering of what our new MTSS office is going to look like. And within that office, there'll be areas for collaboration, classroom space, offices for kids to be one-on-one with a counselor per se, or whatever special support service they would need. They would come into this area and meet for that experience with that person. This is our new center for emergent bilinguals. As part of the initiative of the state of Illinois and public education, really the emerging of bilinguals and having a center and a space for people with multi-language issues that we work with them. We'll have a center for that now within the school. This is a concept of what our hallways will look like in that MTSS area. You can see we have areas for the students to sit and collaborate, talk, discuss. You know, we almost call it kind of the coffee house effect, where they can sit and have conversations together and engage each other. So we're kind of excited about that concept and how that looks. This is one of the collaboration rooms that I talked about. The students will be able to meet and collaborate, talk, discuss, and go through different tiers of support when needed. This is exciting. It's one of our new, we're going to have 4 study halls in that area that will have a capacity of up to 100 students. Or we can pull the divider and make it 50 and 50. So what it does, it not only gives us a space for the students to have their study hall area, but also for future collaboration and professional development activities, or even an activity like the community leaders. When you all get together just as leaders, we would have a space that would fit 50 to potentially up to 100 folks. So really exciting area. Kind of unique about this, since it will be such a large space, we've added, you can see the honeycomb, the bee theme at the top. Those are actually sound mufflers. So when the room is so open like that, you try to muffle the sound as much as you can. And we've included a carpeting in that area to just, again, help with the sound and keep it a calm place where you can study and do your work. So we're excited about that. And then Eric Bradley.
Hi, I'd like to say welcome. I'm so glad that you came out tonight and got to hear all this good information. Now is the time for you to be able to participate a little bit, but we are really glad that you're here, and we do need all the feedback that we can get. So I'm Robin Smith, and I'm the library director at the Zion-Benton Public Library District, and we serve not only Zion, but we also serve Winthrop Harbor and Beachmont.
And my name is Eric Bradley. I'm the Executive Director at Zion Park District. The Park District manages over 750 acres of parklands and open spaces throughout our community. We also operate 5 major facilities, including 2 golf courses and a pool. And we conduct numerous special events and programs throughout the year. But before we get started this evening, let's revisit one of the highlights from the summer of 2023, the Zion Independence Day celebration. All right, so you can see that the celebration was well attended, and a lot of people that had, just a great time. And we were really proud of that event. You may also recall this year that we needed to reschedule that event due to some thunderstorm warnings on the day, as well as an air quality index that was concerning for people that would have been in attendance, as well as the band. But we felt fortunate to be able to reschedule that event and still give the community an outstanding celebration this summer.
Sorry to tag team with one microphone, but that's okay. So if you remember, and if you were here last April, we did community focus groups, and we brought everybody to see the really cool technology rooms, and everybody got to talk independently about different events. So Eric and I were tasked with the challenge of trying to capture information about community events. so that we would be able to find out what you were looking for, what you wanted to do. And we heard a lot about what was going on. So while, of course, we are tasked with trying to make the library and the park districts the best they can be, and we may have the very best idea in our own heads, but if we don't hear from you, your idea, you may not like it as much. So we got a lot of good feedback. So at the library, we heard a lot about the inclusion of having summer camps attend in our summer reading program, and then we also heard about having STEM programs for all ages more frequently.
So, from the park district standpoint, we had a lot of great feedback too. We had everything ranging from, can you do something more about the mosquitoes for concerts, to can you offer daytime concerts for the children, and also had some great suggestions on additional events to add during the summer. So we really appreciate that feedback. It was very valuable for us. So we'd like to know at this point, how has your year been so far? You all hopefully have a survey in front of you. If you could please fill that out for us and be sure to turn it in. There'll be a raffle at the end with some fabulous prizes. We have some rounds of golf to Shiloh Golf Course. We have some day passes at the Zion Park District Leisure Center. We also have some water bottles and beach blankets back there.
Yeah, library paraphernalia.
So please don't forget to put your name on that and turn it in.
So while we're at it, we would also like to we're going to ask you a few questions. So we have made this fun because you guys have not had a chance to speak. And this might even not be what you want to talk about, but since we do and you're here, we are so glad to ask you. So we have Christine and we have Shabria. Shabria's from the library, Christine is from the Park District. And every time you answer one of our questions, they will run to you with a gift certificate. And we have gift certificates for CJ's Coffee House. We have gift certificates for the Hebrews, and then we have a gift certificate for, so I wouldn't forget, the Sweet Stop. So these are good things. So now we're going to ask questions.
Yeah, so if we could look at the community engagement survey, if you can please stand up if you attended either the Black History Celebration or the Zion Park District Easter egg hunt this year.
Woo! Give that woman a gift.
We also have Kane Peterson, our superintendent of recreation from the Park District here. Okay, if you could hand out maybe a couple things too to just, looks like we had some good participation, so that's awesome to see.
Okay, so I saw somebody walk in with a t-shirt, and now the question is, how many of you participated in either the Monarch Mania or the Zinnia Festival this August? So stand up, don't be shy. I saw the t-shirt, somebody else should join you. There she is, I see the t-shirt now. So make sure that everybody gets a prize. So can I ask you if you could shout out how you heard about the event? Can anybody tell me, anybody willing to tell me that? The Zion-Benton Quarterly? Zion Quarterly? Awesome. The pageant, okay, that's excellent.
I saw it on Facebook.
Facebook, that's really good. So how many of you people, somebody who didn't attend that event, did you hear about? Anybody stand up? Anybody heard about it but just didn't go, couldn't make it? No? All right, so good. Thank you very much for that, I appreciate it. So do you want to take another minute?
Did anyone attend a concert in the park at the Park District Band Show on Thursday evenings? I think we had some great bands. There was a great lineup. We had a nice turnout. It seemed like the weather was very good for our concerts, so a really fun series. Hopefully, if you could just raise your hand if you attended, one or more a concert during the summer. And
How many people attend 5 of the concerts?
5 of the concerts, Robert's looking.
Whoa!
Our super users. Did anybody post after a concert? Did anyone post on Facebook or anything? Any positive feedback about, having a good time at the concerts or?
Say more about how people would do that at the events. Just how would somebody do that?
Yeah, I mean, from our standpoint, you know, it would be super helpful if people, when you do attend an event and you have a positive experience, if you would post on Facebook about, you know, how you enjoyed yourself, how you were able to spend some time with your family. Those concerts on Thursday night are totally free. And, you know, Christine and Kay and our recreation team work really hard on putting together a good lineup and bringing some nice, you know, quality bands here. So, you know, positivity on Facebook for us is always welcome. You know, we should certainly take our share of negativity, which is unfortunate. I think a lot of times maybe people don't understand all the circumstances as to, you know, what's surrounding the event. But yeah, I mean, again, anything positive or positive that you can share on Facebook with your community members is definitely appreciated by all the taxing bodies, I'm sure. You know, whether one of your streets gets fixed or you have a positive engagement with a police officer, you know, it's always good to hear.
And it is my hope that if you have something negative to say, that you will let us know first before you tell your neighbor, so that we can try to have a chance to fix it and and make it better for next time. I would also like to point out that on this slide, every single one of these events was taken from Facebook in the neighborhood, so through Zion, We Heart Zion, through the library Facebook, the police Facebook page. So these events were captured and everybody was there. If not everybody, it was close to it. So it's always good to see the happy faces. So my next event, one close and dear to my heart, is the one about the summer reading challenge. Because we have summer reading challenges not just for children, but for grown-ups as well. Did anyone here, did you or your family participate in our summer reading challenge? Woo, Samantha, thank you so much. That is so good, yay! So if you do the summer reading challenge, one of the reasons that libraries do that is because it's a summer slide. When students get out of school in May and they don't go back until August or September, they often lose that skill. They don't practice it as much, they're doing other things. So if you bring them to the library, they have a reason to read, they get help, and they also win prizes for it. So it really helps with the school year and with your literacy skills. So we always invite people to come out.
On the next event is one that we received feedback on, one that I was asked about, you know, earlier in the year. It was the Juneteenth celebration at the Zion Park District Band Show. So this is the first year that the Park District had offered a Juneteenth celebration. I thought it was a great time. It was a beautiful day, really well attended. And so I'm just curious, how many people here attended the Juneteenth celebration? And how did you hear about it? Did you like it? Okay. Okay, and did you like it? I mean, again, it was our first attempt at offering the Juneteenth celebration. I'm just... Great.
Vendors were awesome, the music was incredible, there was a lot of food options, there was a lot of people there, it was great.
Yeah, and again, that's one that we, again, was suggested to us. We asked the community, they provided that feedback, and we worked hard to make it happen, so.
And the best part is it comes again next year, it's year 19, so look forward to the next event or whatever it happens to be. So now we are right in the middle of what is one of my favorite times of the year. This week is just jam-packed with things that you can do. So I'm wondering how many of you are planning to attend the Trail of Trees or has heard of the Trail of Trees that's happening this Friday at the Shiloh Park? Ooh, there's a lot of hands up. All right. So it is going to be a drive-through event. They're anticipating more than 500 people, but they're cutting it off at 500, so you might want to go get in line now. How did you, that one seems like a crowd favorite. So how did you guys hear about that one? Shout? I didn't hear anything. No, I haven't. Okay. Flyers and Facebook is really good.
How about the Zion Labor Day celebration? I thought it was an awesome day, a jam-packed day full of activities, starting with the mayor's prayer breakfast, the parade, and the pageant. I thought the parade was really well attended. I mean, if you all recall, it was 90+ degrees on that day, but it seemed like a lot of the community came out and really enjoyed it. So just curious how many people attended, you know, any of those events on that day. Does anyone want to provide any feedback on the parade, or, I know it, had been going since pre-COVID, and there was a lot of interest in bringing a parade back, and I thought it was done very well, and it was a lot of fun. Well, yeah, and that's one of the things that we're trying to accomplish here today with the survey is to really understand better how people are getting their information, whether they're getting it from ZB Quarterly or Facebook or flyers in the community, or word of mouth, right? So that's what we're hoping to understand and to figure out really where we can promote some of these events. Because I know at the Park District we work really hard to promote some of our events, and I still hear from people too, oh, I didn't know about it. So, we're going to continue to work hard to increase that communication.
Okay, so I know you guys are getting tired of this. I'd like to point out that you were given an extra piece of paper so that you can write down any comments, any kind of concerns, anything that you want about it, any questions that you've had. And they will either be posted, responded to if you put your name on it. And there's more of these at the table. You don't have to wait. But I do have one more event that I was hoping that you all know, because it's an annual event. It comes up in April, and it's the Senior Resource Fair. So I'm wondering if any of you knew that happened and have been there. Anybody? The Senior Resource Fair, held at the Park District. All right, thanks a lot for coming out. So if you have any ideas on how to make it better, how did you hear about that? If you just know it happens every April, and so you just show up. That's how I do most things. It's like, oh, it's gotta be around now.
How do you guys hear about it? What you guys, how do you guys hear about it? In the quarterly?
Okay, so hopefully everyone has completed the survey and turned it in. Robin is gonna pull a couple surveys for some of the grand prizes. Like you said, we have a couple twosomes for golf at Shiloh Golf Course. Obviously good all through next year as well.
So we're collecting surveys, we're not going to do that. So we're going to collect
And please feel free to share suggestions for topics you'd like to hear more about, at some of the upcoming community dialogue meetings. We want to be sure that these meetings are productive and helpful for everyone, and we're touching on, the items that you want to hear about. Okay, so Robin talked about it, but I just want to mention it one more time. Our Trail of Treats event through Shiloh Park is this Friday, 4 to 6 p.m. Please, bring the kids out if they want to get some candy and have a great time. Hopefully the weather's good and there's always a big turnout. So just a reminder, this Friday at 4 p.m.
Sarah, you know what the regular trick or treat is? You guys can.
It is on Sunday from 2 until 5. Thank you.
That's Sunday from 2 to 5 is the regular trick or treat. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to come back over the microphones. Eric pulled the next one. Maria has pulled this one.
What prize is this from?
This will be a grand prize. Can Maria hold up what the prize is? And this will also be a golfing expedition to Shiloh Park.
Okay, our first grand prize winner is Victoria Coleman. She's Richard. Okay, our next grand prize winner is Edith Saunders.
It was in the quarterly.
Edith.
All right.
She's going to get a couple of certificates to the fitness center. They should be right there behind the sign. The fitness?
To the fitness studio, we have some day passes to the Leisure Center Fitness Studio.
All right, so we have one.
Okay, this is the last one. The last grand prize winner is Sandra Lanners. Okay, thank you. We're going to turn it over to our Township Assessor, Colette Davis.
Thank you. So, we have talked about Blackboard Connect as a way to stay informed via email or through your phone, through phone calls. We've spoken about the Energy Transition Community Grant Plan and new businesses, and you've actually given input on community events. Oh, is this the?
Yeah, that is.
Here we are. All right, here we are. Last thing that I wanted to share with you is the community wellness study. And as you can see here, the Zion-Benton Coalition for Healthy Communities is completing a Zion Community Whole Person Wellness Study to better understand the overall health of Zion residents, so that we can make sure we have the resources that we all need. It's for anyone who is in the 60099 zip code. You can do it now. If you look at your tables, there's a little, Sherry, can you hold that up? There's a little frame that has the QR code on there. If you're savvy enough to scan that code and complete it now, we would love for you to complete that information. Else, you can go to the Zion Township office and complete the application there, or you can work with a research assistant in the office.
Just to share, Dale Kerr is also sitting in the center. She is there with information. But there's just one side note, and that is that if you take the assessment online, if you take the assessment in person and would like to be compensated $20, we have funding for that to try and get as many people as possible to take the survey. It takes like 30 minutes to complete it a lot of times. And so if you would be willing to complete the survey without compensation, then we get that many more people to take the assessment. You can just do it online. If you want to be compensated, you have to do it with one of the assessment people, or come into the office at Township office and do the paper copy. Good, clear as mud?
Anybody have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that there's a blood drive at the Park District on Saturday. There's a flyer on everybody's table.
On your table, there's a flyer for a blood drive at the Park District on this Saturday.
All those organizations, and it's a gift that you can give.
Did you guys hear that? It's the gift that you can give. And we ask for you to donate if you are willing and able. And do we have any other questions? Yes, ma'am. The assessment is, I don't have the information right in front of me. Let me get it. You know what, Mr. Frierson? He is the president of the Coalition for Healthy Communities. He can come up here and give you all more information on this survey that we're asking you to complete.
I missed the burger, so I was enjoying my chips, and I didn't What was the question?
Tell what the survey's for.
What the services are.
So, as a nonprofit independent organization, we just wanted to get a better understanding of the needs of folks within Zion. So, a lot of what we've been able to get done has come through grants, right? And so one of the things that really feeds into grants is data. We need to hear from the people. We need to have those. We need to have the information compiled, and then also it has given our researchers an opportunity to go out and talk to people. They collect field notes, and so there's nothing like actually going and sitting down, talking to people, hearing it directly from your mouths about what some of the needs and opportunities are within the community. And then once that's done, we'll be able to compile that information with the help of our primary research assistant, Dale Kerr from University of Illinois Extension. So they're gonna help us compile that into a full report, and then we'll be able to report back to the community at large, but then also go to the individual taxing bodies.
What is that question?
So it is to understand the needs of the community. So it's gonna cover things like, how happy are you with services for police and streets? How are you doing with mental health? Are you able to find employment? Are you able to find quality housing within Zion? And so by being able to compile that information, we'll be able to go to different foundations like Healthcare Foundation of Northern Lake County. If we need to beef up staffing with social workers, if we need to have nurses go out with our EMT staff, it gives us a full view of what the needs are from a community, from a whole person wellness standpoint. Yes?
Why isn't this survey doing it? Anything concerning our children?
I'm sorry?
So far, nothing about our children.
So the survey does take about 30 minutes. There's 39 questions. We do cover services for the youth. We cover things that are happening with the school district as well. And there's also opportunity for freehand text. So if there's something that you feel like we didn't cover, then that's a good opportunity for you to take it in person at the township or with the research assistant, and we can collect that data as field notes. So does that answer your question? You still kind of have a look, ma'am? Okay. Yes.
Is the data confidential?
Yes. So the surveys are anonymous because we've been paying participants for taking the survey. We do collect addresses because our unit of study is per household. However, that is not connected to your survey. So what I mean by that is the survey is not going to ask you for any personal identifiable information. We're going to collect that completely separate just so we can track where payments are going. Any other questions?
We really appreciate anybody and everybody that lives in the 60099 area code taking the survey, so that we can have substantial information, so that we can go to grant organizations to see if they can help us fund some of the key resources that we need in the community to make our community better, to help.
Yes. Thank you, Sherry. Once again, the blood drive is at the Zion Park District on Monday, October 30th, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that's at 2400 Dowie Memorial Drive. To make an appointment, you can call Vitaliant at 877-258-4825, or you can visit them online at https://donors.vitaliant.org and use the group code 10055-104, or there's a QR code on the flyers. So those are the ways that you can make an appointment. Appointments are recommended, walk-ins are welcomed. Prepare to eat well, hydrate, and bring your ID. And if there are no other questions, all thoughts, hearts, and minds cleared, can we just give a round of applause to all the leaders and all the information that they shared with us today? Yes, thank you. We have one other question? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't.
Did she ask a question? Questions for you personally or of other panelists that spoke before you? I have a question for panelists that spoke before you.
Oh, sure.
So I have a question for the fire chief.
Okay. Fire chief? Fire chief? Chief Street, we have a question for you, sir.
last resort. We do anticipate some retirements over the next few years, so we would never think of getting rid of those that retired into the city. So the fallback will be to just not hire and replace retirements. But we hope to replace the retirements and keep those grant personnel in budget for it. So that is the long-term plan. We're still testing, but we could use more. Like I said on my presentation, our crews are out all at the same time, multiple times per week. And we could always use more. But yes, the plan is to keep those positions after the grant runs out. Good question, thank you.
And I have one more. My question to you is that you share the data and keep track of that. For 100 students, there's an increase in track of that. And the question I have is, who do track of the shadow stop? Because that's important, because if we're seeing an increase of 1,700 individuals, what they look like? Are they black and brown people? Because that has an effect on those traffic stops and that data.
So that's elected by the state, actually, here requires one owners commission. Probably, actually, Senator Obama ended that. So we've been entering all that information, submitting it all the state, every traffic stop, every citizen stop.
So I would just gently like to suggest, when you give those numbers, not on the data, we need to also talk about the demographics behind that. Of less than 100 people, what do they look like for their age, for their race, ethnicity? So then we can see really if the data spews out, we want to know about what we're doing to improve. Are we improving or are we targeting a certain group? I think that's important. Thank you.
Chief, can you repeat the question for the room, please? She wanted to know what was the demographics data on the information provided. So I don't have that on me. We didn't show something.
She wanted to know the demographic information on the data that was provided. We didn't pull that information when we did the numbers. We didn't want to get too far into the, as they say, the weeds on all this information, so it tended to be a little bit overload. But that's information, as I explained to her, my response was, Senator Obama, when he was a state senator, started that process for collecting and submitting for every traffic stop, and now for every citizen stop. That information is collected and sent to the state for every stop. So I don't have the data on me, I apologize for that, but she requested that information be
Suggested.
Yeah, suggested or requested that information be developed or presented at least in part.
You gave us the statistics on the murders in Zion. How many are unsolved?
That I don't have. I believe, I think all of those were charged. The last year's numbers were all charged. That I don't know.
You know I asked.
I do. Any other questions? Okay, who do I turn it over to? Colette? Thank you. Well, thank you all for coming. I guess I can close it out. Is that what you're gonna do? I think we've got a couple extra drinks, refreshments, and chips in the back, but otherwise, enjoy your conversation at your table. If you have any questions for us individually, we'll be sticking around for a few minutes and happy to answer them. Have a good night. Thank you.
How are you doing? Beautiful event tonight. Beautiful event. Beautiful event, guys. Beautiful event. Thank you. Very good. A very good event tonight.
Have a great night.
Thanks for letting me film it. Hey, Mary Lou. How you doing, girl? Hi, guys. Very beautiful event. Thank you. Hey, guys. You doing okay? Yeah. Atta girl. Yep.
It was really good to see you.
How you doing? How do I introduce yourself?
I'm Andrea, State Representative Joyce Mason's office.
Fantastic. My new Facebook friend.
Oh, yes, your new Facebook friend.
Okay.
Very
Did
good.
you have a good time tonight?
I did. I had a very good time. I learned
This
a
is pretty
lot.
nice. This is pretty nice
Yes,
they're doing
it
this,
was
isn't it?
very nice. Very nice. Very good to see everybody, and I really learned a lot.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Like,
you.
it's about an hour and 26 minutes. That's a long video, so
Yeah, it's a good video, I bet.
I'll get one of my young kids to help me put it on YouTube.
It's good to see you.
Okay, here, wait a minute. Let's do this. Okay, I get my finger out of the way. Okay, folks, it's my new Facebook friend. Tell everybody your first name again.
Andrea Hall.
I'll call you Andy, okay?
Andy, yep. Andy's my, yes.
Okay, thank you. And I hope you all enjoyed this video. It's a long one, but okay, give me out. Okay, bye-bye.